Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we'll check in at the Acoustic Tuesday concert series and hear some music by East Brunswick resident Ben Coller. Author Albert Amao will be in the EBTV studio talking about his latest book, The Power Within. The East Brunswick Human Relation Council's Coffee and Conversations event brought out community leaders to discuss the cultural diversity and tolerance in our town. This and more coming up, so stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now. It's that time of year again. No, not back to school time. It's time for the Middlesex County Fair. Celebrating its 80th anniversary, the County Fair returns to the fairgrounds on Cranberry Road in East Brunswick, New Jersey, with opening day on Monday, August the 6th, and will run through Sunday, August 12th. Whether you're a fan of carnival rides, games, food, live music, or want to learn about the history of farming and agriculture in our county, there's something for everyone at the Middlesex County Fair. The fair will open 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. There will be a fireworks display on both the opening and closing nights. Tickets are just $7 for adults and only $1 for children under 12. A full listing of events and entertainment is online at www.middlesexcountyfair.com. So come out to the 80th Annual Middlesex County Fair for a family-friendly night out that won't break the bank.
Michael Rennie was ill the day the earth stood still, but he told us where we stand, and Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear. Claude Rains was the invisible man.
This week's Acoustic Tuesdays at the Municipal Courtyard continued, this week featuring Ben Coller.
I am from East Brunswick, New Jersey, all my life, and tonight I'm going to be playing just a bunch of like rock, folk kind of music that I'm not very good at writing songs, so I just play a lot of songs people know.
People smile and tell me I'm lucky one, and just begun. Think I'm gonna have a son. She will be like she me as freezing dove, conceived in love. The sun is gonna shine above. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything. Bring a chain of love. In the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything's gonna be alright.
I always liked music ever since I was a little kid, and so I think I was about 7. My mom said, you should take piano lessons, as moms often do, and I just stuck with it. My parents my dad played guitar when he was younger, but no, I don't have any professional musicians in the family, but I have a lot of music lovers.
Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and Valerie. 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 Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer?
Any chance I get, I like to play with whoever's around, any friends of mine who like to play music. Actually, I have a couple friends who have like a music festival in their backyard every summer. It's called the Blueberry Launching Festival, and we do that every summer, and it's always a lot of fun. I've been to a few of these Acoustic Tuesdays. They're tons of fun. They there's always a nice turnout. People come and just supporting local music, and I plan on coming to the rest of them. Come out, support local music. It's a lot of fun.
Gonna start a revolution from my bed. Set the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, the summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't ever gonna burn my heart out.
This is Barbara Reese reporting for This Week in East Brunswick. We're very fortunate today to be here with author and PhD Albert Amao. Welcome, and we're excited to hear about your new book, Awaken, the Power Within in Defense of Self-Help.
Thank you, ma'am.
So tell us a little bit about the focus of this new book that you've written.
The main purpose is to raise awareness about the multi-billion, billion with B, self-help culture, which they produce more harm than good. So what I try to is to analyze all these books that are all over. According to Amazon.com, there are more than 300,000 books available on self-help. But the people problem is that, as I have two friends, that they keep buying all these books and they never get help. So they think there's something wrong with them. Instead of thinking that it's nothing, but that they always look for something else beyond their inner self to look for books that doesn't help.
So this was your inspiration for writing, seeing all these different books out there that really don't help?
Exactly. That's as a sociologist, I think my duty is to analyze this culture, which is now infesting America. And as one author, very thoughtful author, said that sham, his title books is Sham, How America is Being Disempowered with Self-Help Books. So
how do we empower the readers? How does your book help empower the reader?
First, try to analyze that all these self-help books try to give this sense of victimization first, that you are not good, that you have been abused in your childhood, and all the problems in the future is because of your childhood. So they impose that idea, and then they try to empower them with this book is going to be the solution for your problem.
And how is your book different? How is your book different?
My book is different because I said there is no other book. It's you yourself. You have to go to your inner self. All the power is in you. The kingdom of heaven is within. It's not out.
So you give strategies of how we can harness our inner power.
Right. That's the idea.
Now, your story is quite an inspirational story as well. Now you're a PhD and a sociologist. Tell us a little bit about your growing up.
I was the older child of 5, and my parents were kind of illiterate. They didn't write. My father went only to the first grade of primary school. So, but I was lucky enough that I had access. I used to love always libraries. I used to go to the library, local library. I would have access to new thought, literature, and that was the one who helped me. That this kind of literature said, you can do it. It's in your power to reach whatever you set in life. So that was my inspiration mainly.
So your positive thinking made a difference in your life. You went on to college, correct?
Right. So I continue doing to follow the example of great people and the advice of that everything, if we want to reach something, we have to fight for it. We have to suffer. We have to go through it. It's not easy. That's the problem in America. We are becoming a quick fix society. We want everything very quickly, immediately, and resolve the problem. That's not the way. We have to go through a process. And that's the only way that I was able to reach my PhD.
And we don't realize that nowadays here there's more access to higher education, but for you it was a challenge to get access to that higher education.
Right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And so what do you hope the reader learns from this book?
I want the people learn that there is no power outside them. The power is in them. So if they propose to reach something, they can do it. And they have to focus their attention and beliefs to whatever goal they set in life.
Oh, that's exciting. Now, you also did a lot of research here at the library.
Right.
How did you find the resources here at the East
I am
Brunswick
very
Library?
grateful to the staff here because they helped me to find the proper books, and when the books are not available here, they look for me in other libraries, and they gather, and they facilitate all the material that was able to produce these books.
So it's the power of the East Brunswick Public Library helping an author
Yes,
to achieve their goals.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
So we're coming to the close. I'm sure we could talk in much more detail about this exciting novel. Perhaps you could tell folks a little bit about how they can get the book.
The book is in Amazon.com. It's going to be released on June 5th, and if they go to Amazon.com.
And it's available in paperback.
Yes, it is available. Also in audiobook.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So you can listen to it as you go to work.
Exactly, that's the idea.
To inspire you on the way.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for being here. All your books are wonderful, and it's always a learning experience speaking with you. So thank you for all that you do and the research that you do here at the library.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is Barbara Reese reporting for This Week in East Brunswick. We hope to see you again soon.
Well, good morning. My name is Bruce Crawford. I'm the director of Rutgers Gardens, and we are in Rutgers Gardens. Rutgers Gardens is the botanic garden for Rutgers University. We're close to 200 acres in size and located right off of Riders Lane. We're actually part of the Cook campus, but we're across the main part of the campus from Route 1. So the bamboo garden, of course, is always of interest. People have never walked through a 2-acre bamboo grove before, and it's just a lot of fun. It's initially when children see it, they see the passages, and it's usually dark inside, and they go, "Oh, I don't want to go in there, it looks dark." And as soon as they go inside, they're like, "Wow, this place is great." So again, it was planted back somewhere in the 40s, we think. But again, it's just a great series of trails that take you around through different parts of the grove, and it's just an experience that you really can't get anywhere else. So that's been one of our popular locations. We also feature Hellier Woods, which is a 70-acre woodlot, which has springs and streams in it, and on the far side of that are some old fields that were originally part of a research facility, but are now principally just, we mow them once a year, and they're just old fields, and they're beautiful to walk through. We have trails going through them, and again, there's some springs as you get closer to Route 1 located over in that area. So, and most people don't realize that water literally just bubbles up out of the ground, and that's where your streams begin. So it's always neat to see some of those. So encourage you to come out and walk around and see that. And most people go, "Oh, it's just a few acres," but to see the whole property, you would be here easily for about 4 hours. If you come on weekends, we have a gift shop which is open from May to October, and so you can get some ice cream or a book, or just get some local information from there on where you're at, what you want to see. And on Friday afternoons, from 11 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, we feature a farm market. and with roughly 30 vendors from local foods, from cakes and to vegetables to wine and cheese. So again, something to pick up for the weekend. So I truly hope that you will come and visit the gardens, whether it's this spring, this summer, or this coming fall, even in the winter months, because we have cross-country skiing, provided we get a good snowfall. If we have a website, which is rutgersgardens.rutgers.edu. It features all of our facilities, our rentals, our programs that go on. And I also encourage you to become a member. So the Gardens is not entirely self-supporting. The university supports it, but in order for us to grow and to add new gardeners, membership really does make a difference and help. So, so please come out. If you're GPSing it, best address to use is 130 Log Cabin Road, and that will bring you right into the gardens. And if you're looking for a phone number, it's 732-932-8451. So looking forward to seeing you in the gardens.
The East Brunswick Human Relations Council held a program at the Community Arts Center called Conversations and Coffee, where a panel of community leaders and local residents were able to discuss bias and stereotypes in our town and how tolerance and respect can be promoted in East Brunswick and beyond.
Last year, the library opened up with a program called the World Cafe, and they had an opportunity for us to sit at tables and talk to one another about things that we thought were important in the community. And one of the things that came out of that series of discussions was the idea that bias really hasn't gone away. We may have fooled ourselves into thinking that we live in this bubble called New Jersey where everybody is diverse and we all accept people's differences. And while I think we do a much better job than many other parts of the country, it does still exist. And many of you would know that because you're kidding yourself if you think we live in nirvana here. We don't. Last year there was a rise in anti-Semitic bias crimes as reported by the Board of Education, and they had to deal with that, a rise beyond what we had seen. There's always been some low level of this type of bias crime, but it had risen. We've seen after the election, I don't know if any of you remember the big idea about cities declaring themselves as sanctuary cities, and I got a bunch of letters from some people saying, oh, Mayor, why aren't you going to do the same thing here? I can assure you that I got equal or more letters saying that I would never be elected again if I ever thought about doing that in this town. That immigrants don't belong here, and that why do we always have to give to them? And when I'm still struggling, it was an eye-opener that I don't think many of you know, and that's really the impetus behind having these type of discussions. There was a rise in Islamophobia that I can guarantee you it still exists here, not just in this country, not just in New Jersey, but right here in East Brunswick. So to think that we are better than everybody else and, or to be in judgment of other places really is foolish. And that's why I felt this was a really good time for us to take stock of where we are, speak honestly to one another, speak, not write, and that's why we called it Conversations and Coffee, because the only way you're going to turn back the momentum that's moved away from the type of society I thought we were living in is to start conversation by conversation, person by person, and start to move back to a place that I think we really need to be.
When we're talking about bias, you can think of bias as, and this is a basic definition, cause to feel or show indication or prejudice for or against someone or something. All right? When we talk about stereotype, we're really talking about a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type or person or thing. Now, again, like I said, I wanted just to put that out there because these words are going to be thrown around quite a bit this evening, so it'd be really nice to have a general sense of what we're talking about. In 2016, the FBI said that they had recorded over 6,000 bias incidents here in the United States. And of all the categories in which they measure bias in, The one category that had the most incidents, the frequency, was of course racial bias. In 2016, over 57% of the cases that the FBI had taken notice of were in the category of racial or ethnic or ancestry bias. Right? When we talk about religion, which is very relevant today, it's not surprising to see that over half the cases of anti-religious bias was anti-Jewish bias, and the second category was anti-Muslim bias. The FBI also measures location when these incidents take place, and it was very surprising to me that the frequency in which bias incidents takes place happens to be in residential areas, in homes, right? So it's really important to talk about what we can do as a community to strengthen the bonds of our neighborhoods, given that this seems to be an area in which intolerance tends to rear its ugly head. Finally, I also want to just bring it back home and talk a little bit about the bias here in East Brunswick, right? According to the statistics that have been collected, in 2012, there was only 2 bias incidents reported. By the time we reached 2017, that number had jumped up to 31.
I think bias for the special needs population is the same as bias for any population. It's preconceived notions without information. You hear a diagnosis, or you hear that somebody's child has a diagnosis, and your first reaction is, oh, I'm sorry. The parents aren't sorry, the parents are thrilled to have this beautiful child. So that is, can you imagine if you have a child and that's a reaction that many of my parents get for their children? The other bias that I find is definitely stereotypes, is that if you have a diagnosis, that defines who you are, and it does not define them at all. All it is a small part of who they are. So if you meet anybody, or if you hear of anybody with any diagnoses, it means nothing. It just means it's a small indication of who they are, but it does not define them, like race does not define you, and religion does not define you. It is just a simple thing. So I feel like education, and maybe getting some of our young people in the township to come out and speak more, maybe even on EBTV, to be able to articulate what it is to be labeled, and how people then take that label and define you that way. I think that might be something that we could even think about maybe in the future. Just information and knowledge is what's going to help with all biases and stereotypes, I think.
What we're looking at doing is continuing to add programs. One of our big programs is Sources of Strength that you'll see in our secondary schools. And that's where we have adults and students of all backgrounds that can get together and talk about issues, get training, and have kids be able to go out and be what we call upstanders. We've heard the term bystanders, but we're looking for upstanders. So that's kids who will go out of their way to say, hey, that's not right. Or, hey, I like what you did over here. This is great. Let's do more of this. And so that's one of the goals that we have in our district, is to make more upstanders and to educate our community in terms of our differences, and to really enjoy those differences and really come together as a group. And you know, we do have numbers that have grown in terms of some of the issues that have happened in town. But we have to remember, we have a diverse community, and we have people coming in from all over this country and all over the world coming into this community, because it's a great community. So it takes time to educate everyone and to try to bring people aboard.
1.6 billion Muslims in the world, worldwide. So question, are all Muslims Arabs? No. So in fact, the majority of Arabs in the United States are actually Christian. So bear that in mind. Where are the majority of Muslims from around the world? What country? Indonesia. So the majority of Muslims are from Indonesia. And that's followed by Pakistan and India as the number 2 and number 3 slots. Are there more Muslims in Syria or in China? In China, you're getting the, yeah. Getting the theme. There are more Muslims in Russia than there are in Libya and Jordan combined. I want to give you an understanding. There are There are different studies, as you know, indicating how many Muslims are in the United States. They range from 2 to 7 million Muslims, according to the U.S. State Department report, so that number is fuzzy. Out of that number, what do you think the ethnic or racial group is the highest of Muslims in America? African American, educated audience here. So, Black Muslim, Black Americans, 35% African American, 28% white, 18% Asian, and about 18% other. Again, breaking down of bias includes understanding what our stereotypes are and what we think who Muslims are.
For more information on the East Brunswick Human Relations Council, visit eastbrunswick.org or check them out on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Melissa Hosick, and I'm the Adult Programming Librarian at the East Brunswick Public Library. Today we're in EB Create, the makerspace at the library, and we're actually going to talk about our new service that we've partnered with the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission, and it's called EB Grow. So the seed library, anyone, library card holder or not, can come in and check out seeds for their garden. So Sandy can tell you a little bit more about how we got the seeds, and I can tell you more about how the checkout process works.
Well, the Seed Library was the brainchild of Melissa and Dave Moskowitz, who is the chair of the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission. And they came up with this idea, kind of a lending library for seeds. And it's a perfect partnership with the library and the Friends because we're committed to conservation and environmental education. And the library, which is committed to community service, education, and serving the community with a lot of different things. This worked out as a great collaboration because we could promote growing your own vegetables, flowers, herbs in your own garden, and actually help people do that by providing seeds that they can almost literally borrow. What the Seed Library is doing, and I'll let Melissa really explain it, is making seeds available to people who belong to the library and also guests of the library so that they can come in, pick up seeds to put in and plant in their own gardens. Melissa, can you talk about that?
So the process works, anyone can come to a library service desk and they can ask to see our actual seed library. They'll receive a copy of our seed catalog where they'll be able to look up our over 100 types of plants that they could grow at home. And the process works, they join as a membership completely free. We try to use it to log the kind of materials that are going out. We have herbs, flowers, ground cover, vegetables, fruit, almost anything that you can think of we have. And it's been very exciting because the Friends of the Environmental Commission actually got the donations.
Yes, we were able to get donations from Herman's Garden Seed Donation Program and the Seed Saver Exchange, which is a very well-known organization. So there's quite a terrific selection here.
So if you want to find out more information about EB Grow, you can visit any library service desk or visit ebpl.org/ebgrow.
Gonna start a revolution.